What up, though? I'm gonna give you my week 3 preview of the Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings. Also, I'm gonna look over the Green Bay Packers versus Tampa Bay and the Chicago Bears versus the Houston Texans. First, I'm gonna start off with the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota going against a good Detroit Lion team, who is, I want to say, they third in rushing, sixth in offense, 21st in passing, and right now 11th in defense. They've been running the ball good the last 2 weeks, but only been 2 weeks. So, and Minnesota running game took a step back last week versus the Eagles. They barely run the ball last week. So I think Minnesota gonna get the running game going this week. A guy get Cook the ball and Madison run the ball and throw the ball to the receivers beside Irv Smith Jr. Irv Smith Jr. should not start that game. Even if he shouldn't even get in that game. But Detroit been playing real good offense. Their defense been horrible, but their offense been playing good. They've been running the ball good. Been hitting open receivers. And Minnesota just got to stop the run, and Minnesota will win that football game. Cause if you take the run away from Detroit, they ain't got nothing else for real. They can't throw the ball without the play action pass. So Detroit, if the Lions cannot run the ball, Minnesota will win that game. But Minnesota defense got to play better. You cannot be playing 10 yards back from a receiver. Cause they could do a quick slant all day and get yak after that. So Minnesota need to quit playing that 10 yard back off a wide receiver. That shit is dumb. I don't know where they even came from. But if Minnesota defense can get it together this week, because this is a big game in a division for Minnesota. If we think who we think Minnesota are, this is a big game. They got to come out with a W in a division at home versus the Detroit Lions. The Lions been playing real good football. So I hope they don't go in there trying to underestimate them boys and let the boys run the ball all down their throat. Then Kirk Cousins go into that shell like he normally do, but he normally bounce back after an awful game like he had last week. So if Minnesota can run the ball, and I'm surprised they been giving Osborne more involved in the offense. I want to see Osborne get the ball more. Number 17, they got to get him involved in the offense. They can't just rely on Jefferson every play. You can't do that. Because everybody know if you double Jefferson or take him off the game, what do Minnesota have on offense then? So Minnesota need to get Osborne involved in the offense and get Cook more involved. Even Cook catching the ball off the backfield and running the ball. Minnesota offense got to play better than what they did last week. That last week performance was horrible. I don't know what the fuck that was. The offense and defense. Only people play good was the special team, and they played okay because they ain't score when they blocked the damn field goal. So if Minnesota can stop the run, take advantage when Goff throw them the interception, Minnesota should win that game. Even though we're gonna be without, I want to say 2 starters on Sunday. I think Harrison Smith he not playing. Eric Kendrick isn't playing, so they're gonna be some opportunities for the young guys to step up. Like that rookie redrafted in the first round last this year. He should start that game. And the other safety, I think his name Bynum, who blew that coverage last week against the Eagles. They really need to work on him this week. Hopefully he have a bounce back game against the Lions. But Minnesota needs to stop that run. And Minnesota do that, Minnesota got that game. I ain't gonna keep saying that, but Minnesota got to do that. Then I'm gonna talk about the Green Bay Packers going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to win that game. So first off, all Green Bay want to do is run the ball or throw the ball to the receivers out of the backfield. And Tampa Bay got some fast and quick linebackers. So I don't really think Green Bay gonna be able to run the ball and throw the ball to their receivers like they normally do the past 2 weeks. So Aaron Rodgers will have to throw the ball downfield to the receivers. And Tampa Bay missing a few offensive weapons. Mike Evans got suspended, everybody know. Chris Godwin, I don't think he playing. And Julio Jones is questionable. So I don't know who Green Bay gonna me not Green. I don't know who Tampa Bay gonna throw the ball to, but I still think Tampa Bay gonna beat Green Bay off the defense alone, and they're gonna run the ball with Fournette a whole lot. He should have about 100 rushing yards. And if you a bad man like me, you gonna bet the unders on that game. Cause can't none of the offense score no points. In the first 2 weeks, Tampa Bay barely scored 20 points. And Green Bay can't really score no points. Besides what they did to, the Bears last week. But the Bears did that shit to themselves. How you gonna call a quarterback sneak on fourth and goal on the 1 yard line from shotgun? That was dumb as hell. That was bad coaching. And that's exactly why I think Lovie Smith gonna go back to Chicago and beat the Bears to let them know that they made a mistake letting them go. Because the Bears' offense is horrible. Their defense is even horrible too. I watched them play Green Bay. They had so many missed tackles. So I think Houston is gonna get Chicago because they're gonna be Lovie Smith revenge game. And Chicago ain't got nothing for real. Chicago is horrible. So if Minnesota come out with this W, then the rest of the division lose on Sunday, like I think they are. Minnesota will be up two, I think, yeah, 2-1 in the division. I know it's only week 3, but that's a big step. Being two teams in the division down there back to back. So Minnesota got to come out with the W. That offense got to get clicking. Kevin O'Connell, he got to do better play calling. Kirk Cousins got to play better. Cause if you look on paper, Detroit don't scare nobody. Honestly, they just run the ball good and they ain't playing nobody but the Commanders and Carson Wentz horrible. But I'm not taking nothing from Detroit. Detroit played good last week and the week before. But their defense is horrible. So I've seen this game. Minnesota should score at least 31 points, 34 points easy. And hold Detroit to under 20. If they do that, they got that game in the bag. So Minnesota really needs to stop the run and quit playing 10-yard back from the fucking wide receiver. I don't know. They need to get rid of that shit. And that defense coordinator better call some better fucking plays. Because them plays he called last week was horrible. And without Harrison Smith and Kendrick, I think Hunter and Smith gonna have a big game versus the Lions. In that free agent we signed from Arizona. I can't think of his name right now. But I think they all should have a big game on defense. And I'm looking for Cam to get his first interception Sunday versus the Lions. I know the Lions have a fast receiver in St. Brown, but that really is about it. They ain't got nothing else. So Minnesota have to stop the run, get the turnovers, and get Cook the ball, and get Osborne the ball. Please get Osborne the fucking ball. I don't think he had no targets last week. So they need to do better in getting more people involved in the offense. Because what I seen last week was horrible. You can't throw Jefferson the ball every play. You gotta throw the ball to everybody on offense. You can't throw it to one player. Cause all they're gonna do is double team him. So Minnesota needs to get more people involved and stop the run. They got that game in the chokehold. I'm telling you. I'll be back tomorrow with another preview of the Minnesota and Detroit Lions game.